Shocking returns. WWE Bad Blood 2024 results. There were so many. There was The Rock. There was Jimmy Uso. And there was a few others as well. We are going to break it all down. Let me know down in the comments there below, what did you think of 2024 Bad Blood? From the opening bout, Hell in a Cell, CM Punk, to the closing one of the Roman Reigns' return, his first match since WrestleMania 40, teaming up with Cody Rhodes, taking on the Bloodline. The big return of Jimmy Uso, the return of The Rock. I know what you want. You want to talk about the main event. And I'm going to talk about the main event right now. We're going to start off really, really hot, y'all, because I want to talk about the other returns as well. And I also want to talk about Hell in a Cell. So, main event, we knew going into the show, would it be the tag team bout? Would it be Hell in a Cell? What would they do? Well, a few days ago, it was reported they're going to go with the main event of the tag team headliner. And everyone thought, okay, well, we'll probably get Jimmy Uso's return. But what about The Rock? Then news broke on Friday that The Rock was 80 minutes away from Atlanta, Georgia. He could appear. And that's exactly what happened. Roman Reigns, undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes teaming up against Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, main event. And it was a plotting match, as you might expect, right? They took their time. Eventually, Roman got the hot tag. And there was outside interference from the Tongas, right? You knew that. You knew that coming in. But what was the finish? What was the finish going to be? Well, the finish was a man coming out dressed with a hood on and a hoodie. And they laid out the Tongas. And then all of a sudden, he revealed himself. And it was Jimmy Uso, who had been kicked out of the Bloodline months prior from Solo Sikoa and the Tongas. Solo Sikoa, he was in shock to see his older brother leading to Reigns hitting the spear for the win. Jimmy and Reigns, they hugged it out, and then they were starting to walk up the aisle, and the Bloodline starts to beat down Cody Rhodes. So, what are they going to do? Are they going to walk to the back, or are they going to make the save? Well, it was Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns making the save. They're baby faces now, right? So they ran down to the ring. Then, Reigns grabbed the title. He gave it to Cody Rhodes. Okay, here's another tease. Are they going to go off the air, right? We didn't know. Was The Rock going to make his return before the baby faces, made the save for Cody? Was it going to be after? Or are they just going to go off the air? Is Rock going to come back? And then all of a sudden, The Rock came out. He came out to the stage. He had a stare down with Reigns. His music turned off. And then his music came back on after he told them to play his music. And I love the fact that The Rock had only been back for like legit 30 seconds. He went directly live on Instagram talking about how there's nothing like pro wrestling. There's nothing like being out in front of that audience. And he got into his pickup truck and he took off. And I absolutely loved it. It's brilliant. We knew Rock was going to come back because he wanted to finish the story with Cody Rhodes. Obviously, that was open-ended coming out of WrestleMania 40 and beyond. So that was the main event. Now let's get to the rest of the show, y'all. I don't want to keep you too long. Opener, Hell in a Cell, CM Punk. This was everything that you could have asked for. Was it violent? Yes. Was it bloody? Yes. Did they use weapons? Yes. Was it storytelling, arcing? Was it impactful? Was it meaningful? Yes. Drew McIntyre bled like a stuffed pig in this match. It was fantastic. They used various weapons. We're talking about chairs, tables, wrenches, chains, steel steps, you name it, they did it. This was exactly what Hell in a Cell is supposed to be. This is exactly what CM Punk talked about, wanting to deliver a main event worthy Hell in a Cell type match. And that's exactly what he gave us. And bravo to him. There was a spot where Drew McIntyre, he poured beads onto Punk and went for the Claymore kick, but Punk moved and Drew landed on the steel steps. Punk put the beads in Drew's mouth, hit the GTS with the chain on his leg for the 1, 2, 3. They made it very clear going into this match that it was going to be the final match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, right? We had SummerSlam. We had Bash in Berlin. Now we had Hell in a Cell, and they absolutely crushed in this match. Cannot say anything higher than that. Just absolute greatness. Next, they went right into Women's Champion Nia Jax and Bayley. Now, this was an interesting one because the match, it was a little sluggish. It was a little rough, but they finally started to get their feet wet, if you will, down the stretch, and it turned out to be pretty decent. Bayley hit a pop-up stunner and went for the cover, but there was no referee as Jax had just fell on the official, laying her out. Well, let's get Tiffany Stratton out there. She ran down to the ring and hit Bayley with her briefcase multiple times. She got the referee up and teased, that she was going to cash in Money in the Bank. She never did, though, as Jax noticed what Tiffany was about to do. Confronting her, what are you doing? Tiffany trying to explain herself. Hey, I'm out here helping you. I'm helping you. I'm not cashing in. No. Bayley drove Jax into Stratton, rolled her up for 2. Jax then hit a Samoan drop, the splash off the middle rope. 1, 2, 3. So Bayley puts over Nia Jax 2 straight times, obviously. SummerSlam, she put her over. And here they continuously tease Tiffany Stratton cashing in. And I think that's brilliant because it keeps her in the mix and it keeps people reminding. WWE's reminding people, hey, Tiffany Stratton's a threat. You need to take her seriously, yada, yada, yada. So absolutely brilliant on their part. And it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. And a surprise segment. So WWE, they announced during the show, at the top of the show, hey, Triple H is going to be here, and he's going to make an historic announcement. And everyone's like, what is going on? I noticed WrestleVotes, they tweeted out right before then, get ready for some new championships. And so I'm like, okay. So this is what happened. Triple H came out. He announced that there's going to be Crown Jewel Championships crowned, or champions crowned at the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia on November 2nd. This is how it's going to work. It's going to be a champion versus champion match. So you're going to have the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, World Heavyweight champion, Gunther. They're going to square off for the men's Crown Jewel Championship. Then we're going to have women's champion Nia Jax and women's world champion Liv Morgan. They're going to face off for a females championship. Neither WWE or world championships will be on the line when they wrestle each other, okay? Now this leads us to a very interesting segment. So Gunther came out, he did a quick promo before turning his attention to Goldberg. Goldberg was, I believe, sitting behind the commentators with his family, his son and his wife, and Gunther started getting a promo on Uncle Bill. And he said that, a few weeks ago when he told Bret Hart that, well, you're my favorite wrestler, and then going and saying, well, Goldberg's actually my favorite wrestler. He's like, I was just kidding. I was just busting balls. And instead, he said that Goldberg was a one-trick pony, and he could never fool himself to think that Goldberg was a good wrestler considering the caliber of him on there. And so then he said that he hopes that Gage, Goldberg's son, had a better father than Goldberg was as a pro wrestler. Goldberg jumped the barricades, security got involved, Sami Zayn came in, interrupted, they brawled. Obviously, Sami Zayn, Gunther, Monday Night Raw, world title on the line. And then Goldberg told the camera, you're next, Gunther. So I guess we're getting a Goldberg versus Gunther match down the road. He's talked about wanting to do one more match, a retirement match. We'll see. We shall see. Next, the worst match of the freaking night. Damian Priest, Finn Balor. This was bad. This was just, the psychology was bad. The performances were just bad. I don't know why, but these guys do not click, and I do not want to see them work another match. And that is even before we get to the problem of the storyline or in the match finish. So, of course, you had Carlito, JD Madonna. They came out there. They distracted Priest, allowing Balor to hit the drop kick and the double foot stomp off the top rope for 2. Balor, he then rolled him up for 2 and then hit an elbow drop and went for a foot stomp and hit it on the back of Priest. And then Priest caught Balor off the top rope and hit the South of Heaven for the win. So now we had a bad match with the babyface winning their first encounter despite having outside interference. Are we just moving along here? Is that what we're doing? Because if we're going to another match, I don't understand this finish, right? Like, everything lines up to this feud is over. So was it a one and done? And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. If this was a one and done, be gone. Don't run it back. But if they run this back on like an episode of Monday Night Raw, I'm going to be questioning Triple H's booking on this one, because to me, on paper, it absolutely makes no sense. And like I said, performances based, let's just move on from it, right? And finally, one of the matches I was looking forward to the most, co-main event, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. Dominic Mysterio was in a shark cage, and this one had a surprising finish. So at one point, Mysterio, he fell out of the cage and was hanging by his ankle. Ripley took a kendo stick and hit him multiple times with it. Raquel Rodriguez returned and attacked Ripley from behind, laying her out with a powerbomb. Obviously, Rhea won the match, did not win the championship. Liv Morgan is still champion. But now we have a new wrinkle. Not only is it very cool to see Raquel back, she hasn't been around since Elimination Chamber. Her skin diagnosis, or her skin condition, she's explained this very well on Instagram. I won't even try to go into it, but her skin condition, it flared up earlier this year for a second time, so she took time off. Well, now she's back, and I hope she sticks around, and I hope she's healthy enough to do so. She's a really good talent. Having her with Liv Morgan as her, her heavy, her enforcer, her bouncer, her protector, her bodyguard, whatever you want to call it, I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and it extends Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, which I suspected that they were going to do, but I thought Rhea was going to win the title here. Obviously, they didn't, but I still think it was a very good way to do things. Let me know down in the comments area below, what do you think about WWE Bad Blood, all the surprise returns, all the twists and valleys and everything like that. I'd love to hear what you have to say down below.